if there's anyone coming on and in here with us. I'm Jessica Parnell. This is my husband, Mike Parnell.
And Allie, you guys know me.
So thanks for joining us today. We just thought we'd do something fun today and just kind of on the fly and see how it goes. Allie and I started doing our weekly episodes and wanted to come on live to see if there was anyone that had any questions about anything that we've gone over. We've done, we've started the 4 C's and done, what have we done, Allie? We've done
confidence.
We've
done confidence. And this next week we're doing commitment. And we did control as well.
And control, that's right. So, so if anyone is on and wants to talk to us about anything that we've gone over so far, just a little background on us and why Mike's in here with us today. He and I coached Allie when she was in middle school, and I guess elementary school too, we coached a lot. And also just being parents of 2 kids in sports, both at the same time, and how challenging that was. And so we thought we'd bring him in to give a little insight on how we dealt with that. And he dealt with that mentally and all of the ups and downs. And then also, Allie and I got to talking about doing this summer. And it's been kind of a fun adventure. It's growing. We're trying to figure it out. But,
lots of learning.
Lots
of
learning. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of cool at the same time. Things that we would never have done in the past and we're doing now. So let's kick it off. Let's go.
Yeah, I could say I think a big thing why we started this was you and I are big helpers. I mean, I guess our whole family, very big helpers. Always wanting to do things for other people, and you and I are always bouncing ideas just like off each other, just boom, 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 boom. It like never stops. And especially we go on like car trips or road trips or whatever and just talk. And we're like, well, why don't we like use the like information that we're like gaining and all this really good, content, I guess, and share it with everybody, because a lot of it's gonna go more to use than just like being between us. So like sharing it with everybody will be way better.
Well, and it's just where we're at in our lives too, as far as, you being a coach and wanting in personal trainer, and me with my life coach stuff, and it just kind of all fit. And so and then Mike is a coach as well, and just that our whole family is just kind of that inspirational thing. So it's kind of fun, and hopefully in the future that we can have all of us together and talking about all of this and trying to help others be the best they can.
Yeah.
So
Dad, I want you to go and talk to us about like the challenges of like our like coaching, because you 2 obviously coached me and my brother for a very long time. And so I would love to hear like your guys' challenges, what you guys went through, how you guys kept chugging along even though it wasn't easy.
Anytime you're in any kind of sports, any kind of challenges or whatever, nothing's easy. And especially with your attitude and Quentin's attitude, it really didn't make anything easy at all. So parents, that's the way kids are, the way the sports are, it's just the way it goes. But you guys both had huge drive of what you wanted to do. So it really wasn't that hard to keep pressing forward with the setbacks, with failures and success. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's all together. But you just have to, talk to. Oh man, sorry. Holy crap. It's live, so it's what it is. But no, it was hard. We had definitely had some hard times with both of you with, and Quentin in his golf tournaments and you in your basketball tournaments. And, junior high is really when we kind of figured things out and kind of started getting better. And, top of my bill is driving me nuts. Sorry, I apologize, but it's like anyway. You guys just wanted to get better so bad that it really wasn't that hard. I mean, with your basketball, I mean, we changed players so often, and we had such huge turnover that all these girls came in and they just want to try and they want to get better. And I mean, you're doing it for the kids. It's not for you. So try to get them better and get them some basic skills. So when they get to the next level, they're able to move on. And I mean, it's when the kids have the drive, it's really, really, really not that hard to coach them.
Well, we always, the kids always, you kids always had your goals and your drive, and we always told you, you go after whatever you can do and be anything that you want to be, as long as you put the work in. It's not going to just come. You're going to have to work for it. But as long as you are mentally tough, you can, go after whatever you want.
Well, I think mentally tough is it's never easy. It's never going to be easy. But if you have the drive and you have the passion and people are pushing you towards the right direction, then I think the mental toughness is I don't want to say not that hard, but it's a lot easier because this is what you want to do. So it's easier to put the passion and put the pressure in and put the work in to get to where you want to be. And now you're living proof of that.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess for me, like coming from that time an athlete, it was a lot easier because I had not only did I have parents who were very big supporters and like always said I could get wherever I wanted to go, but I also had coaches, you know what I mean? Like you did not only for me, but for any of my teammates, you told all of us, we can get there as long as we want it and we work for it, and I think that's really, really important for coaches is to express and, like tell the kids that they can do it. If you have someone who believes in you,
no matter what level they're.
Exactly. It's like, if you want it, you can get there. If you have someone who believes in you, it makes everything so much easier than if you're like, well, I don't know if
Coach Robertson did that for you a lot. And Coach Stevens, then, when you're really kind of pulled you up and, that first tournament we went to up in Lewiston and I mean, kind of, you're like deer in the headlights. What am I doing here? Right. And you, I mean, you had your failures, you had success, but the overall is that you learned so much and you played hard and you improved every minute of the game. And I mean, that was probably one of the biggest turning points for you in basketball was that tournament where, I mean, you were way out of your league, but they needed a player. You went up there and you contributed a lot for them. The parents were talking to us about how great you played for never having to do anything like this. I mean, that was a huge moment in your young basketball career.
Yeah, it was just being able to have a chance, because like, I mean, obviously with playing with you guys, I had lots of chances, but being able to play with girls who I knew were a lot better than me, or like I could, I had a potential of getting there. I just needed work, but being able just to have one tournament, I never played with them before, but to be thrown in and just like give them a chance was like everything I wanted, Hi, Avery. Thanks for joining.
What'd you say?
I said, hi, Avery. This is one of my girls. She just joined our live.
Hi, Avery.
Hi, Avery. Don't let her bully you, though. I'm just saying.
We're not about bullying.
Avery's a bully.
So she's like you then?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, okay.
That's awesome. So, so when we talk about mental toughness, we've kind of gone over how you went about it. How do you see your kids now that you've been coaching for a while now? How do you see your kids with their mental toughness?
I see the roller coaster. Like I was just talking about it to some of our new coaches yesterday. I was like, this isn't a good practice because we'll have some practices where everyone's going really hard, bringing energy, everything like that. And then we'll have practices where as coaches, we have to work harder to get them to like put in the effort. And that's really hard. And like, you can see that roller coaster of like how tough they're feeling today. And then with games too, like a Saturday to Sunday, like that's like night and day most of the time, like for tournaments. And so it's really hard because I know a lot of times, especially with mental toughness, it's either outside influences or exhaustion. Like those are the two things that I truly see that make the biggest difference. And it's just like I see a lot of girls who don't have that parental support, you know what I mean? And like that's huge because everyone looks to their parents. Like I know I did. But sometimes parents can be too hard. And that immediately will change a girl's mindset. If their parents are mad about how they're playing or whatever, they will just, it's like completely different just because of one thing they might say.
And that's very normal with the age group that you're working with because their life is kind of an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
the hormones.
it just is. That's the way it is. I mean, so it's really hard to get with that many girls to be on the same page every day and day in, day out. But
yeah.
But as parents too, we really have to kind of take back and say, what do we really want? Why do we push our kids so hard? Is it because of their goals, because we're supporting them, or is it because of our own, agenda? And so really as a parent, we have to figure out and really step back and say, what is the real purpose? What is the kid's goal? Because they're the ones performing. And, if I'm putting too much pressure on the kid,
Yeah, parents can't want it more than the kids. It doesn't work like that.
Parents always want it more than the kids.
But
I know
that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. But they have to do it in the right way.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you can't like I asked my girls, like sometimes if I notice they continuously have like bad days, I'm like, do you want it? And sometimes it sounds bad, like, do you want to be here? But it's a real question, and it has to be asked sometimes because it's like I can tell who wants to be here and who wants to get better and who's doing it because their parents want them to be there and to be the best.
Well, and what's the adjustment? If you see that they really don't want to be there for that day, what's the adjustment? Do you set them out and not, play them as much? Do you, talk to them? What is the adjustment to that day that they're not, performing?
I mean, I guess that would vary from a practice to a game, if it's a game. Yeah. And kid to kid, obviously. I mean, if it's a game and they're going out there, if they're going out and they're trying and they're performing, then you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to make them sit out just because they don't want to be there. But if they're not going out and not putting in the effort and, just jogging or just not trying, and then it's like, okay, well, I can't play you if you're not going to put that effort in because I have a whole line of people who want to play, and like same with practice. It's like I can say, we want you here, your team wants you here, but at the same time, it's like you have to be able to want it more than me,
So my understanding of what we're doing this for is you get questions, stuff like that. Does Avery have any questions for besides Allie? I'm guessing no, but I have to ask a question.
No, I mean she's on, but I don't know if she wants to ask a question, she can throw it out there.
Well, I just thought that was a be good stopping point. Maybe she can, if she wants to ask a question about, maybe to us or to you that she, I mean, whatever. So that's what we're here for, is getting other people involved.
So those that are going to either tune in right now or that later, just, what are some of the questions that we have are, really, what is your why? Why do you play your sport? Why do you, have goals for, even if it's not sports, maybe it's school, maybe it's something else, but what's the why that drives you? And what are your goals for that? And do you write those down? Do you just keep them in your head? How do you perform with those goals? And how do you, when you're at practice and stuff, how do you talk to yourself? And what's your drive? Maybe we can put those questions in the comments.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. So why don't I hear a little bit, because like obviously there's generational gaps with sports as well, like different types of coaching. So when you guys were playing sports, what types of coaches did you guys have? And when you became coaches, what did you, I guess, not want to do? Or what did you want to bring to the table that you were never given?
Well, I'll start since I'm the oldest. I was very fortunate with the town that we live in that had very good all-around sports program. I played football, basketball, and baseball. We had a great football coach at the high school for years and years and years, and then the first takeover after him was very successful too. Some state titles here and there and whatever.
What made him great?
They were consistent. They had the same thing. They knew that they knew what to teach and what to expect from the kids, and that was consistent. The basketball program that I grew up in was one of the best in the state still is one of the best in the state of Washington. And the coach there, I mean, when I was like, I'm going to say 9 or 10, we had summer basketball camp, summer Bomber basketball camp, and we learned the same thing from when I was 8 years old till I got into high school. When in high school, I kind of knew what was expected, and they pushed you, they drove you, they were not always the nicest to you, but at the end of the day, they were there to help you, to push you to succeed. It's kind of a little old school. I don't know if that doesn't necessarily is the way to do things now, but at that time, that's just the way it was. You just accepted it and you dealt with it, or you didn't play, or didn't. I know just don't play. That's the wrong word, but that's just the way it was. I mean, we lived for the 2-week Bomber basketball camp. It was the best thing ever all summer.
And I was kind of the same. I mean, the coaches, and I think for girls, I think is a little bit, the mindset can be a little bit different because we're a little maybe softer. I don't know if that's the correct terminology.
I don't know. Yeah.
But, we really had to, as girls, you have to realize, are you going to be tough? Are you going to be tough and you're going to deal with it? And I think the coaches that we had, and I had, especially in basketball, were the coaches that were tough, but they inspired us at the same time. So, I mean, like, they pushed us to our limits. And there was times where it was like, you better beat that girl down to the other side of the court. She better not beat you. And, or we're going to sit here and we're going to run for, the rest of the hour. So, I mean, those things are tough. And I think they're still practiced now, but it made us better. And, we respected those coaches, the ones that, put us down, the ones that, came in and said, you guys are trash. You guys didn't play. You guys played like crap. You guys are, aren't worth it. That's when we immediately saw the whole team go down, and it was like we hated it.
There's a big difference between those saying those things, then you're not working hard enough, you're not getting this, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, than saying you're terrible or horrible, whatever. But those coaches, same thing, when they work you and bust your butt and do this and that to get you there, and then you do it, they're the first ones to come up to you and say, that was awesome. That's the way it should be done. Now remember that and keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's a positive reinforcement and pushing you to the next level.
Well, and they celebrate your victories.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like that's the line for one, and two, when it comes to like boys versus girls, I think boys can handle and like they're okay when they get the very vague criticism. You know what I mean? Like you're doing, like you need to fix this, but it's not really like telling you exactly what you did wrong. But girls, they thrive on like explanation. I know exactly what I did, so I can fix that exact same thing. I'm not going to do that same thing again. You know what I mean? Like I notice a lot with like our coaching is, the head coach, obviously it makes sense with head coaches, like you don't always have time to like go into like long detail about everything. So like to say one thing and then it's like, okay, as an assistant, it's important to be able to like sit down with that girl. Okay, this is what you did. This is what he means or what they mean. And this is how you need to fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Girls versus boys. I mean, we were taught that a long time ago, is that girls need absolute direction. Yeah. They need to know exactly what you want from them, exactly when, exactly where they need to be, and they'll perform. Boys, you could say, just go out and do this play, and they're there. Girls need to know where they need to be, who needs to be what and when, so they need absolute instruction, where the boys don't necessarily need that much. So, to be a coach and to coach both boys and girls, you have to switch your coaching styles to get the best performance out of each one.
But that's the same with each kid too. Each kid, I mean, you have to know your audience. It really comes down to, I could talk to you, Allie, and say, you need to do this and this, and you go, got it. I'd talk to another girl and say, okay, here's what we need to do, and you have to be way more specific. So, I mean, each kid is that much different too, as are boys and girls. And the great point that you pointed out was the assistants need to know what the head coach is talking about too, so you can go. So, like you said, you don't have to have much time. It's like, here's what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. And then you see a kid with the deer in the headlights going, what are they talking about? And the assistant coach goes, here's what we're talking about. Oh, okay, that makes way more sense now, but I get what you asking for me. I mean, but you just knowing your audience. You look around in your huddle when you're talking to the kids, and one girl's like going, oh my gosh, what was that? And it's like, you can see that, and you can help them. And that's what, that's part of coaching, is each kid's different. In all levels of sports, I don't care where it is. You can't tell me that in the, say NFL, which is just starting up right now, that the head coach is going to go tell the quarterback, you need to do this and this, and he's go, I don't understand what he said. Well, the quarterback's going to coach is going to come up, or the offensive coordinator is going to go, this is what he's talking about. He goes, why didn't he just say that? He goes, well, that's not the way he talks. So that's why they have 50 coaches on the sidelines.
Exactly.
There's lots to deal with and lots of personalities to deal with, and that's what coaching is all about. So the biggest thing you talk about is being able to deal with each kid and get them to trust you what you're saying, so they know what you're saying. You can go and say, I need you to do this. Now go do it.
Yeah, and like I do the same thing. Like if I didn't if I didn't have like an assistant, I utilize the team. Who's sitting on the bench, who knows what they're talking about, and because you don't always have time. Like especially as a head coach, you don't have the time to sit down every single time, go over the same 50 times.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, who knows the play? Who can help out their teammate?
Yep.
And then then they go through, and I've actually noticed that most time when a teammate goes through it with each other, they get it more than if like an assistant were to say it, or head coach or whatever. They get it because they talk to each other differently, you know what I mean, in a way that they actually understand it.
It's probably a wrong choice of word or phrase, but they kind of dumb it down and get it their language that you understand. I mean, dumb it down is the wrong word, obviously, but I mean, just they speak the same language, whereas coaches and people, we don't. I mean, we don't. So I mean, it's obviously different. So I mean, and that the communication is a huge deal.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, all these. I mean, especially with like the company I work for, they they definitely. I like literally like my brain went blank as soon as that happened. Anyways, all of the kids, they spend so much time together that that they understand how to just communicate like that. You know what I mean? So I think that makes
really
a difference.
That's really wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, so, try getting them to work together as a team also creates that mental toughness for them. And if they can work together as a team and build that confidence within each other, then that just builds a stronger team. It builds stronger kids. They can perform on and off the court no matter what, as long as they have that backing from all their teammates.
You listen to every sport that goes on, and they have whatever level. I mean, level doesn't always happen at the younger level because it's time and money and things like that. But you have to other levels. You always talk about they have a bonding weekend or a getaway weekend or whatever the choice of phrases is. Okay, we're going to this tournament. Well, we're going to be away from all the distractions. It's going to just be us, and we're going to learn how to deal with each other. And that's where you get the mental toughness is kind of come from yourself, but it also can come from your team, because if you have the backing of your team, you can be as strong as you want, and that for sure. So I mean, that's a huge deal.
Team chemistry will win over anything.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Absolutely.
So, all right. So do we have any questions that have come up? I haven't seen any.
I haven't seen any questions, but that's okay. I think we covered a lot of really good stuff. Dad, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your experiences and your wisdom.
Or their lack of.
Anyways, but yeah, so I think this was great. I definitely think we should keep doing this. We'll keep having these lives, and we'll keep answering any questions that we get.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We'll get there, and there's lots of questions out there, I'm sure, and lots of kids that wonder how to get better and how to, even coaches and parents. Maybe parents are struggling with, why aren't they able to communicate with their kids, and why, what's going on, and maybe that's something that they can ask. Maybe we can shine some light, and maybe it's something that others can shine light on too. So it's not just us. We're trying to build a community. So definitely bring us questions, and hopefully together we can build a team of our own that can work as coaches and athletes and
bring parents. Us answers too.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean,
answers.
Yeah.
Even after this live, send us direct messages, ask questions in the comments, whatever you need to do, get in contact with us with any questions, comments, concerns, whatever experiences, any kind of wisdom you guys have. We want to share it all, because we can all just keep growing and getting better together. So
perfect. All right. Well, have a happy Friday, everybody. Have awesome
Friday.
games this weekend. And good luck.
Go
And
Cougs.
be strong. Gotta put that one in there.
You brought me on. You knew something could happen.
Nobody cheers for the Cougars in Arizona, Dad.
Well, your license plate says different.
It does. It does say different.
There you
All
go.
right. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Thanks for being on here, Dad, again. And we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Bye-bye.